welcome to another interior walk along. My name is Tanya Sheikh and I'm a Lahore based interior designer. In this video I'm going to be showing you a project that's very near and dear to me. In this project we did two living areas, two living spaces that we really experimented with. We had a classical interior setup and we had a modern interior setup. So we did a fusion design in which we used both elements of contemporary interior design and also classical interior design. We just really wanted to be experimental. We wanted to be really creative and make both living rooms look distinguishable, and that's exactly what we did, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, let's see how we go through our creative process. So this is our first living room. It had two areas. One was the sitting while the other was the dining. However, we're going to be using it as one big sitting area. It came with an attached bath that we're going to be tearing apart and redoing. We are making some structural changes to the room, increasing the window heights, increasing the window sizes, just to bring a bit more of that natural light in. Out into the main entrance of our home, we move into the main reception, the main foyer. We're going to be removing all of the tiles, and at the same time we're going to be making huge changes to the doors. We're going to be structurally increasing their sizes. From the main foyer we move into our second living area. Although the room is quite large, it is a bit darker due to the smaller window in the corner. The room doesn't get that much natural light. We however won't be able to make structural changes to that, but we are going to play with colors in this room. We're going to try our best to lighten the color scheme and make the room feel a bit more breathable. In our modern living area, we have this really nice marble imitation tile. We wanted the floor to have some character, and that's exactly what we ended up doing by adding the brass strips. For the main foyer, we went for this beautiful deep green Indian marble, and yeah, once again we're using an inlay for the floor. To complement that green marble look, we went for this linear design on the main wall of our main entrance. So we wanted to tie in all of these design elements, and we managed to do that through our doors. For the main entrance, we had these beautiful wrought iron, completely wrought iron black doors, and for the internal doors we went for a mix of wood that had these featured wrought iron panels that complemented our main door and all of these other timeless design elements as well. On the other hand, however, we had this really urban look for the powder room. We went for this nice geometrical tile for the floor. For the walls, we had something a bit different. We went for brick for our powder room walls. We tied in these elements by using Indian green marble once again for the vanity, and we experimented with our sanitary fittings and smaller design elements just to make the powder room feel very nice and very urban. We really wanted to experiment with the feature walls. For the formal setting, we created this really customized stucco look for our wall. We wanted to give that really nice, rocky, modern vibe to that space. Our client wanted something a bit different, and we were happy to experiment with that concept. On the other hand, for our classical setting, we went for a classical molding. The classical molding had to be kind of managed in regards to the amount of wall space that we had and where the doors were situated, where the windows were situated, so we had to go for a very customized molding. Some boxes were smaller, some were bigger, and yeah, that worked out quite well. The molding itself was in pure white, while the base color for the room was more warmer white. For the main reception, the main foyer, we went for a different kind of molding, and we wanted the paintwork and other design elements to tie all of these things in. And yeah, I'm gonna let the work speak for itself. slight adjustment that we made to the actual structural element of the space. We did end up increasing the size of our windows, which wasn't there before. That brought a lot of sunlight into the space, because the space before that was quite dingy. There wasn't a lot of sunlight. It needed to be a bit more brighter, and we kind of made this folding window, this folding window slash door that opened up into the garden, that you could use obviously as a door, and it had a smaller patio to it as well, for the same purpose, just as a small platform for the outer area. And for our inner living area, we also had the same issue, but due to some structural constraints, we couldn't really increase the window size of that area. So we ended up kind of playing with colors in that space. Our walls were really nice, really bright, a really light color. No darker shades for this area, because we wanted the room to feel a bit more open. So we ended up doing that. And yeah, and hopefully you'll see in our furniture setting, we wanted the area to be a bit more open, a bit more spacious, so that it looked just as nice and just as bright and airy as the first one. So the feature wall for our modern setting has taken shape. I just wanted to highlight all the smaller details that went into putting this interior together. We had these really beautiful wooden panels for our feature wall that had spotlights installed into them. This kind of gave an additional depth to the rock wall that we created, kind of highlighting the texture of the feature wall and just giving this really a nice and extremely exaggerated look. The wooden look was not just reserved for the spotlight boxes, but we took them all the way up to our ceiling as well. The moldings that we used for our false ceiling, we ended up painting them in the same shade of polish in our folding doors, and we wanted to keep the sense of continuity, and it turned out quite well. Another key element of any design is the lighting, and for this interior we had a series of lighting plans that we implemented. We used rope light, we used spotlights, we had main LEDs in the border of the false ceiling. All of these different lighting plans were so that it gave the client an option to customize the lighting in the room. They could use the chandelier or the rope light, or in combination or individually. They could use just the spotlights. So this gave the room multiple different lighting plans. For our classical setting, our lighting was a bit more simplistic. We had LEDs around the border of our false ceiling, which was our main source of lighting. We had a central chandelier that we wanted all of our focus on, and we had two sets of wall lights near our fireplace. And yeah, we wanted the chandelier and we wanted the wall lights to kind of have more focus towards them. Okay, so moving into our main foyer, a lot of design elements have been installed. We can kind of see how the interior is looking. When it came to the main foyer, we had this area near the staircase where our electrical boxes were. We made this makeshift box, kind of giving this impression of a window, but it was actually a mirrored accessory. And yeah, it worked out quite well because it ended up reflecting light from the top of the staircase as well, making the room a bit more spacious, a bit more lighter, and yeah, it worked out quite well. Okay, so the last element that needed to be installed in our foyer was our railing. And for our railing especially, we had to be a bit careful in terms of what we were installing. We had our main sets of wrought iron doors, and then we had our wrought iron panels for the internal doors. We went for these circular panels that had these small SS caps at the bottom. The reason for those SS stainless steel caps at the bottom was so that we could get a break between the dark granite and our dark railing bars, and it proved to be a nice break and a nice look for the railing. For the top we went for wood. The reason being is because we wanted to tie all of these elements together. Our railing was also a reflection of our internal doors that we made in wood and wrought iron. We wanted the same material in our railing as well, but at the same time we had to manage the amount of texture, so we ended up avoiding any kind of floral design in our railing, and it just balanced everything out. Colors have kind of taken shape. In our modern setting, we had this dual seating arrangement, and for one side of the room we went for this really nice curved teal sectional, and in the center we had these two-seater sofas sandwiched back to back in this really nice lime color. And yeah, the teal and the lime worked together quite nice, adding that bit of boldness and that bit of a modern touch to the setting. Both areas of the room were completely identical. We had these two sets of coffee tables in between in this really nice living edge design. We accessorized the room with these arched mirrors on one side of the room. There were two reasons for the arched mirrors. One, it did add a bit of character to the room. The other was that we had the huge window on one side of the room, and directly opposite we had those arched mirrors. So what it did was it actually reflected light from one side of the room to the other, and yeah, that added space, and that added that extra natural light and that extra openness to the room. So for the feature wall we had to be a bit careful because we didn't want to put anything that would take away focus from the wall itself. So for that we went for these really nice compact armchairs in white, and in the center we had these side tables in acrylic. The acrylic side tables proved to be a really nice decision because what they did was they actually made the spotlights at the back visible, giving that really nice open look. For the classical setting, our major elements were all timeless, were all classical, but for the furniture we did actually play with colors. So we had two sets of Chesterfields on either side of our fireplace. Right opposite the fireplace we had this really nice three-seater in this really nice blue self-print fabric. We had other smaller furniture items as well. We had the same tanned color stools at the back of the sofa with this really nice console. We had these white benches on one corner of the room. The client's criteria was that they wanted to have as much seating space as possible, and we managed to do that with the furniture selections that we had. Colors for the classical setting, they were a bit unconventional, but it tied in quite nice. We did play with accessories a lot in our classical setting. We had this beautiful rug that we used in the center of our setting, and yeah, it proved to be a great selection. We didn't want to hide the beauty of that rug, so we went for these glassed coffee tables that had this brass frame. So that brings our project to a close, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do leave your feedback in the comments below. Which interior did you prefer? Did you like the modern setting more, or did you like the classical better? So do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more interior related content, and yeah, see you in the next one.